I just wanted to briefly talk about what our most important goal should be as singers, as performers. And it is not, by the way, to impress people. That's not it. And it's not for us to feel good about what we do and to show people what we can do. That's not it, okay? It is to move people. It is to move people emotionally. That's your job as a singer and as a performer. Really, I would say probably just about all of the arts. It's to touch people emotionally. All right, you want to move them to dance, to laugh, to cry, whatever the song is about. You're taking that song and trying to create a certain emotion in people. In fact, I would tell my students it's almost your job to manipulate people emotionally, because that's what music is about. It's like liquid emotion. And in fact, when we listen to music ourselves, we do the same thing. Hey, I want to feel good, so I'm going to listen to some feel-good music. Right? I want to be depressed, so I'm going to listen to some depressing music. Or sad, I want to have this memory that brings this feeling. Whatever that is, you're using that to enhance emotion, and that's your job as a singer. Okay? I wrote down a couple of notes, and I bring these up with students quite regularly. Number one, your job is not to impress people. Okay? There are some amazing singers in the world, and I would say if I were to ask you, who are the 5 most impressive singers that you've ever heard? In other words, they're just mechanically unstoppable. They can do amazing things with their voices, strength, power, control, all of that, just amazing vocalists, whether you listen to them or not. Who would you say those are? And, you might come up with 5 people. And then I might ask, how many of those people have you bought their music or have you gone to see in concert? And probably the list gets a lot shorter, because we don't listen to people because they're impressive. We listen to them because they move us. Now, there's some singers, I'm a voice teacher, there's some singers who aren't very good singers at all out there, really, from a technical standpoint, which is what I spend so much of my time teaching. But I love to listen to them because they move me. You could probably do the same. You could probably name a lot of singers who you like to listen to, at least several of them. Aren't necessarily great vocalists. They're not impressive, but they move you and you really love to listen to their music. Okay, that's your job. It is not to be impressive. It is not about you. Okay, it is your job as a singer. When you stand up there, it is your job to help people feel things. Otherwise, give the mic to someone else. Okay, they don't want to hear you just so that they can be impressed by you, or so you have an opportunity to perform for other people. It's not that, okay? It's you moving them, helping them feel something deeply, touching them deeply, okay? That's your job. That also ties into a couple of other subjects, by the way. When you choose a song, you want to choose songs that you can do well, that you can, first of all, that they're going to move people, that it's a good song. Whether you're going to move them to dance, like I said, move them to cry, move them, whatever. It's got to be something that you can emotionally touch people with. Now, if they're involved in your technique, that's no good. In other words, if you're having trouble reaching this high note, okay, well then don't choose a song with that high note in it, or you can improvise and use a different note or stylize your way around that high note, okay? Hitting that high note isn't going to move someone unless you do it well and it fits in a bigger context. Okay, if you're struggling a little bit for that note, they're struggling along with you. They're going, "Ooh, I hope he hits the note." Well, you're not doing your job anymore. You're trying to impress them because you can hit that note. Well, the original singer did it in that key. I don't care if the original singer did it in the same key or not. It doesn't matter. That would be like me saying, well, this guy over here, he just wrote a check to buy his Mercedes-Benz, so I should be able to. But then your check's going to bounce. Okay, you can't do that way. You have to do it differently. So choose songs that you know you can do well. Now, you practice songs that are a little out of your reach. Yes, so you continue to grow and learn how to deal with the problems. But that's not what you do for people. Don't put them through it. You wouldn't invite over, the president of your choice and try, for dinner and try for the first time a recipe you've never done before. It's like, this recipe, I read it in a book. I think that's going to be good. I'm going to try that when the president comes over and I'm going to make that for him. I doubt you would do that. You would probably do one that's pretty tried and true, one of your signature dishes. It's like, okay, I don't care if it's a bowl of cereal. If you don't screw it up, you're going to do that one. You're not going to just try something brand new. Well, don't do that to people who you're singing for. Don't do stuff that you're working on, hoping to get good at someday, or do it because you love it, but you're still struggling with it. Don't put them through that. Do that yourself at home or in the shower, okay? You want to do something that you can help people immerse themselves in that music and the meaning of that music, okay? Don't do something just because you like it, just because they did it in that key, just because they moved you doesn't mean you can move them with that same song, okay? If you don't have the same technical ability or the same vocal range, any of that kind of stuff. Pick songs that are easy enough for you to really utilize well, as a singer to help people feel things, okay? And then the other thing is, this ties in also a little bit with stage fright, because much of stage fright comes from mainly from two different places. Number one is you don't know what you're doing, okay? Or you're choosing a song that's too hard, and you don't know what's going to come out of your mouth, okay? That makes you a little nervous, okay? So choosing songs that are a little bit easier, set yourself up for success, especially if you know that you tend to get a little nervous. Well, don't go for the super, super hard song. That's just going to raise that, freaked outness to a higher level. No, do stuff you know you can do well. The other aspect of stage fright is more the mental game, okay? If we're there to try and impress people, even if you're impressive, you're not going to impress everybody. There's going to be some people who just don't like what you do. They don't like your voice. They don't like what you're wearing. They don't like, this is a life lesson, right? Some people aren't going to like us. You know what? We don't like some people either. They maybe worked very hard on their song and image and music and everything like that. It's like, it doesn't really do anything for me. Okay, well, they're not singing to us then, because we're not the ones that are going to move. And so you have to focus on who you can move emotionally, okay? And your focus should be on them, not on you. Not on them liking you. Your job is not to be liked up there, okay? That causes a lot of fear. If you're there to do a job, then do your job. Don't worry about whether people are being impressed by you. Okay, I always give the example of a server at a restaurant. All right, if you go to a restaurant and a server's putting down forks and spoons and drops a fork, okay, if the server was wanting to be impressive, they would feel really stupid and embarrassed at that point. Oh, I dropped the fork. I'm sorry. I've never done this before. I feel so stupid. And, and all we're thinking is, it's okay. Just, you can get me another fork. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Nobody cares. No one cares if you're concentrating on them. If they say, oh, I'm sorry about that. I'll be right back. And with a fork, and I say, you need a water. I'll be right back. Boom. You'll forget that it ever happened. Same thing as a singer. If you slip on a note, or this little, the word was slightly, you kind of fudged on it, whatever. No one's going to care if you're focused on them, on talking to them, on moving them. Okay? The focus needs to be on your audience. And if it's not, then either the song's too hard or you're too self-absorbed. Sorry to put it that way. But we performers tend to be pretty needy, self-absorbed people in general. So we have to be very careful that the reason that we're going to be up there is to serve other people, serve their needs. And if you're struggling with the pitch, if you're struggling with the note, struggling with a bunch of things because you're choosing too hard of a song, then you're just making it difficult on yourself, and you're making it difficult on them, because they're going to see you struggling with that stuff. It's not that you can't make mistakes. And people forgive the mistakes. Like I said, you drop the fork, no big deal. But you don't want to be doing it all the time. And because that's just going to be distracting to people, and you're not being effective. Instead, you're just making them put up with you. Okay? Do something simple and moving and touching, rather than trying to be impressive. Okay? And I'll say this over and over again. I know I'm sort of repeating myself. But if you're focused on other people, you won't be so afraid of them being focused on you. You go to help. So our number one goal as a singer, to move people. Don't try to be impressive. Instead, choose music, choose keys, choose songs that you know you can successfully go into people's lives and help them feel something and help them feel good about it. That's your job. It doesn't matter. You don't even have to feel it yourself. You don't have to feel it. I cooked this amazing salmon. I have to say, I make pretty darn good salmon. That's what I would make if the president was coming over. But a lot of times I don't even eat it. I've had it so many times, and I enjoy cooking it, enjoy watching other people eat it and enjoy it. And I can do that with songs. Singers need to be able to do that with songs as well. I've sung this 1,000 times. Well, your job is to make it sound like it's the first time they've ever heard it, is to really move them with that. And you can do that. It's not being insincere. That's not the point. It's taking this song, bringing it to life for them. It doesn't have to for you. And believe me, you can do that. You can do those things separately. You don't have to feel something and yet move other people with it very deeply. And, I go into that on some other teaching. In fact, if you feel something too intensely yourself, it will generally mess with your vocal technique. You lock up your breathing. If you feel emotion really intensely, whether it's anger, excitement, whatever, it's intensity. That tension inside is squeezing your breathing off. So actually that can get in the way. So anyway, we don't want stage fright. We don't want to try and impress people. Okay, so just try to pick songs that you can do well, that you know you can move people with, and that they're going to enjoy. Do songs that they're going to enjoy, not songs that you enjoy necessarily. Hopefully they're both, But anyway, that's my thought for today. That's my thought for today, is to just try to move people with the music, okay? And then that in turn, serving them, okay, is very meaningful to you. But more importantly, it is meaningful to them. Make it a meaningful experience for your listener. Don't worry about yourself, okay? Life lesson as well. But this is especially true for artists. That's that X factor that people talk about, Well, we don't know what we're looking. We'll know when we see it, It's just sort of, that's what it is. It's when you touch someone's heart. It's not when you impress them with the highest note, biggest, loudest note, held it for 20 minutes. Okay? That has a certain excitement level to it. But that won't necessarily, okay, move them, touch them in a very, very deep way. It can be impressive, okay, but we want to go well beyond that. Make other people, make our audience, okay, our focus and our goal to change their lives, even for a little bit of time, in some way with that music, not to be liked, okay, not for people to be impressed by you. If you do that, it's going to be distracting, and you'll constantly be disappointed because you will never get enough accolades to feel good enough, about how you did. And so just kind of keep that concentration on others. Again, life lesson. But this is true for us as singers. Really go out there, move people, touch people, choose great music that you can do really, really well.